The Galapagos Islands. Wild and harsh, their strange volcanic landscapes rise out of the Pacific Ocean about 600 miles off the coast of Ecuador. Here there is a mysterious union of nature that exists nowhere else. Isolated for millions of years, these islands spawned a fantastic array of plants and animals, many that are unique in all the world. But there is a force that's upsetting the delicate balance of this fragile ecosystem. Non-native plants brought by man are threatening the very existence of the island's wildlife. This is an age-old clash between man and nature, one that nature can easily lose. But here in the Galapagos, it's not too late.
Galapagos is different from every other place in the world, partly because of its history. Charles Darwin came here in the 1800s, and of course made quite a splash with his theory of evolution. And so just because of the human history, the human scientific history here in the Galapagos Islands, this has been a place of dreams for many people.
People began to settle the islands in the early 1800s. And by the 1930s, word of this magical place had led to a small tourist trade. Today, 97% of the island's area is protected as a national park of Ecuador, which attracts about 50,000 visitors a year. Visitors who annually spend about $2 million.
So you give me 30 sucres.
Though tourism can cause huge environmental problems, here it's tightly regulated.
This park wouldn't exist without the people. Tour operators are very strict. They don't walk out of the trails. They don't change the official itineraries too much, and they try not to throw garbage into the sea.
But about 12,000 people live in the Galapagos outside park boundaries. In the highlands, there are ranches where cattle are raised, and farms where a great variety of fruits and vegetables are grown to supply the local market. It's because of the needs of people that the problem of non-native invasive plants began.
When you have a park or a protected area and agricultural zones or places where human beings are, there's always conflict. And normally it has to do with agriculture, with people growing things near to the borders of a park. Introduced plant species are one of the biggest problems I think we have here. These introduced plant species are very aggressive, invasive, and they take over very quickly. And we had lots of trouble trying to eliminate them.
These sulco trees, brought to the islands 40 years ago, are an example. They've already spread over vast areas of grazing land, and they drop poisonous seeds that can kill certain animals in a matter of hours. Lantana, a pretty plant used in gardens throughout the world, today threatens the habitat of an endangered seabird that lives in the highlands. Guava, imported for its fruit, has infested thousands of acres of land. And quinine trees are threatening unique species like this forest of Scalesia trees. The problem worsens because of the very animals that live here. Birds of all kinds, feral cattle, even the island's namesake, the giant tortoise, routinely spreads seeds from place to place. As a result, all of these plants are invading the protected national park. The Charles Darwin Research Station, located on Santa Cruz Island, works with the National Park Service to repopulate the islands with endangered animals and researches ways to conserve native plant species.
Galapagos has many species that need to be protected. The number of plants and animals that are unique and only found here in the world is very high compared to many other archipelagos in the world. The size of the job of introduced plant control in Galapagos is huge. We believe that these areas could indeed be controlled and that it would be possible to return them to native vegetation. But we're talking of tens of thousands of hectares.
Until now, Park Service workers have tried to control the invasive plants by cutting them down, as have the farmers.
The only results were that we had new, big, healthy trees, that they will grow very fast, and that it seems to help the trees that we cut them and take them out. The seeds just have new soil so they can grow very fast.
Obviously, another approach was needed. So the Darwin Station began a series of weed control programs using a variety of methods, including Roundup herbicide donated by Monsanto Company.
The Charles Darwin Research Station has been working with the Galapagos National Park Service and with a variety of entities within the agricultural zones to test a variety of different compounds. This is including, of course, Roundup here in Galapagos. The kinds of things we've been testing here have been shown to be relatively innocuous indeed in quite a variety of different natural areas worldwide. And the tests which have been done with them on Santa Cruz, San Cristobal, and Floriana principally have indicated that we've had some very good results, particularly situations where habitat is very, very much in danger in the highlands of Santa Cruz and on Floriana.
This is Floriana Island. Here in the highlands is the habitat of the nocturnal dark-rumped petrel, a bird found only in the Galapagos that nests in open grassy areas. Lantana has almost completely overtaken its habitat. In 1994, the National Park Service, in conjunction with volunteers like Bill Tidwell, a conservationist from California, began using Roundup on the Lantana.
If the invasive plants, exotic invasive plants that have been introduced, are not stopped where they are, then they'll cover and spread throughout the islands. So by coming in and trying to surgically remove the species without damaging the native species that are there, the native plants, you can preserve the environment and restore the habitat for the animals that belong here.
So far, only small experimental plots have been treated with Roundup. Though other methods must be found to control guava and quinine, the results on Lantana have been excellent.
A lot of people find it difficult to understand why we even consider using chemicals. In the case of introduced plants, such as the quinine tree or lantana or the guava tree, these plants are very, very aggressive. Therefore, it's very important to consider all the possible options for removing those plants. We have found in some cases that chemical methods are the best. They're the least disruptive, and they are very effective.
Saving the unique plants of the Galapagos is essential, and the need is immediate. Already 475 species of non-native plants have been introduced to half the habitats of the Galapagos Islands, and they're spreading further every day.
The Galapagos have long been revered as an ecological preserve, not just because they have species here that are not found in other places, but the way that the animals react to humans. They treat us as partners, as part of and not separate from the great circle of life. If the habitat here on Galapagos were lost to the exotic invasive weed species that have been introduced, we would lose forever the unique, absolutely remarkable, most unbelievable ecological habitat that we know on our planet.
Today, there is still time to preserve the beauty, the magic, the mystery of the Galapagos Islands. resources and people are needed to undo damage already done. But new ways to restore these special habitats and protect the native plants and animals that live here are showing great promise. The effort is beginning, and for at least one of the world's unique ecosystems, it's not too late.